Hey, everybody. How's it going? Thank you for checking, Wendy. NB Metal says all systems are a go. That is correct. Very cool. Well, everything seems to be working this evening, which is awesome. Yeah. It's always important, right? Let's see. Cool. Surfer Boy. Hello, hello. Welcome to the live All About Guitar for April, which is International Guitar Month. Yeah, I am in a Floyd mood. Floyd vibe for sure. My last student of the evening was into the Floyd thing, so I figured I'd carry it over into the hang tonight. I should have grabbed the old Strat. That's what I should have done. Oh well, that's over there. I don't feel like getting up. Talk about lazy. Oh yeah. Switch pickups and get a little bit of a strattier sound. How about that? Hey, Mike. Mike plays bass. Yes, he does. Awesomeness. Hello, Kadir. awesome to see everybody hanging tonight. I could do that for hours. I think everybody would be bored. But, yeah, so, we're doing our daily hang for Guitar Month. We were talking about Guitar Month for the past few days here, and it will be, well, I guess not few days. We're on day 5. Day 5. And we will go till day 30. That's the plan. Dwight Bailey. What's going on, Dwight? Hello, hello. Thanks for hanging here. Let's see who else is hanging. Go through the chat real quick. I think I got everybody. Seems like you're all conversing amongst each other, which is fantastic. All right, so for anybody who is chilling in the wings, because I see you, there's more people in the wings than there are chatting, so say hi in the chat. The community is super friendly. Everybody's cool. Even though it seems like I might be the new kid on the block for streaming, I've been doing this since 2018, and I've been on hiatus since about October, and I'm back, and I figured, you know what, let's come back and make up for some lost time and stream every day during my favorite month, April, for many reasons. And one of the reasons I forgot about yesterday because we were distracted with my birthday, but one of my favorite guitar players, his birthday was also yesterday. Gary Moore. Anybody know that? Gary Moore's birthday is April 4th. Yeah, so I share a birthday with an incredible guitar player. Such a shame he's not with us anymore, but man, Yeah, Gary Moore. Still got the blues. Yeah, man, Ed. Gary Moore's birthday was yesterday, April 4. Pretty wacky. Guitar players, both of us, born on April 4th. During Guitar Month. You see, you hear the delay now that I got the set up right with the, whoops, hold on. You guys are chatting. Zip, there it is. Wow, that delay is wide. Yes, it is wide. Sounds great. You corrected yourself. Yes, and it's probably your phone just grabbing and then you hit send. I do that all the time. I'm always like going back and fixing the autocorrect stuff, which I didn't need to be autocorrected. I was correct the first time, thank you. But yeah, so now that I got the audio, which has always been working until Monday, or whatever day that was, yeah, you get to hear the real delay and all the nice panning. Oh my goodness, it's so cool. It's the Axe-Fx, the Axe-Fx 3. That's what I've been using back there with the super slick pedal board. Let's see if I get this on the right shot. Number 5. There it is, the pedals. So that's the FC12, and it controls the Axe-Fx, which is back there. And I have this particular preset was designed by my buddy Freeman, who has quite an array of presets. He is actually in a tribute to Pink Floyd in Maurice, France, and they are ridiculously good. And he designed all of the sounds for the show and nailed all the tunes, and he has those for sale on his website. So he's a really cool guy, and he's a genius programmer. He's done a lot of stuff for a bunch of people. So yeah, so that preset that I'm using is I think he just calls it pads, E pads, like E as in the letter E, pads. And everything is based off an E tonality, which is really awesome. And it's really cool for practice. So what we'll do is I'll just give you a couple little examples. So to make practice more fun, what you can do is you can figure out like what chord you want to try and solo over or practice maybe a scale to, and you can hear the tonality. So now instead of it just being a scale and you're playing and trying to hear it, some people don't have backing tracks or whatever, but there's tons of free stuff online. But backing tracks could be a little not discouraging, but a little too advanced for some people. And even for myself, not being a beginner, I like to practice over one chord so I could beat it to death and figure out everything I can do to that one chord. So I'll pick like minor and bring it in. And then what I'll do is I'll say, all right, well, let's just start off with minor pentatonic for a piece of cake, easy idea, right? And then you can practice bending so you can hear it go to the proper pitch. So now with this pitch going, if I don't bend to an E, you can hear it. Sounds terrible, right? So now you can practice your bending. And you can hear when it locks in and it sounds good. So that's one really good thing about having just a static chord or a static pitch instead of a backing track, So that's cool. Now the next thing is well, that's just a flat out minor chord, so why don't I make that a minor seventh and add in the seventh note and make it a little more colorful, if you will. Alright, so that's the seventh. Let's make it a minor six. We bring in the six. So that's what's really cool about having a static pitch instead of just a straight up backing track, because now you can really add stuff to the chord and explore and have some fun. We'll get back to that in a second. I just see that there's someone new and I don't want to ignore them. Amy Lynn Tucker, this is my first time I am catching you live. Could you tell me a little bit about the guitar you are playing? I would love to. This is a Strandberg Bowden. Let's get the comment out of the way so you could see it in its full glory. So it's called the Strandberg is the brand, and the model is called the Bowden, and this is a Prague. Bowden Prague, or progressive, for progressive guitar, so kind of metal rock. There's all different genres, but you don't have to buy this guitar to play prog only. You could play blues on it. There's actually a couple of artists on their site that actually do play blues and use a prog. It's just a way to describe the wood, the pickup configuration, and that's the differences between the different models of Strandbergs. So this particular guitar has a lot of modern features, which one of them is the super lightweightness. The cuts here and this cut here are made specifically so when you're sitting, it stays balanced super, super well. And then the other cut, let me take the strap and get that out of the way. This cut here is for classical style. So a lot of classical guitar players, if you watch like Paco de Lucia, he'll sit with the neck almost on a serious like 90-degree angle. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And this right here sits perfectly, and then you're in the correct position. The other thing is, yeah, then we'll show you. Yes. Yes, Mike. That's next. Mike knows. Show them the back of the neck. Yes. So the back of the neck is the selling point. So this guitar is designed for people who play a lot, standing or sitting, doesn't matter. But here's the awesomeness about it. I always teach my students to play with their thumb flat behind the neck, because most people don't have giant hands like, say, Steve Vai or Jimi Hendrix. And that's why you see those guys sometimes doing the thumb over the top. Or what's his name? Stevie Ray Vaughan plays a lot with his thumb over the top. That's because those guys have really big hands. And most people are not blessed with gigantic hands. So we can do that. Wendy's saying, show them the thumb cam. So yeah, we'll do that. Let's get over to thumb cam, which is number 3, I think. Nope, it's number 4. And there's the thumb cam. So the thing about this, it's a little dark on... Yeah, I'll have to show you the other way. All right, but I always tell my students to play with their thumb flat behind the neck. Okay? And that's for a lot of reasons, which I will explain. But let's go back to the front camera. Here's the neck. The neck is a trapezoid. Okay, it's 3 flat surfaces, 3 specific flat surfaces, and you can actually see it's thicker, and then it gets thinner over here, and the opposite side is thicker and thinner and gets thicker. Okay, so what happens is, see that? It's pretty wild. So it allows for your thumb to sit in the actual specific spot that is perfect for your posture. Steve Vai put out a video in 2020 or 2021 how he had hand injuries and went for shoulder surgery. There we go. And the doctors had a specific thing made for his arm because he couldn't pick. But he had to sit this way to play. And what he said is basically he wound up, sitting wrong for his whole career and causing really bad damage to his shoulder and his elbow and his hand tendon. So he got it all fixed up. And then recently I've seen some videos of him and he's sitting all wrong again. Yes, the ergonomics are pretty killer on this guitar. Let's see. Welcome, Amy. Thanks for the question. Yes, I love talking about guitars. Let's see. I'll do some scales, exercise warm-ups, then come up with a progression on a looper. Yeah, that's getting back to the other thing. Yes, definitely. That totally helps. And that's another great tool is a looper. So if you guys and gals want to get into practicing with hearing the tonality of the scale against the chord, I recommend getting a looper or some form of sustained type thing like that preset that I had earlier. Yeah. Let's see. Hey, Janice is here. Hello, Janice. Hello. So, Kadir, you play guitar very well. I am sharing that page separately. I enjoy music. I have a great respect for musicians. I am also a vocalist. So I enjoy interacting with artists. Thank you, Vince Janella Music. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Thanks for sharing my page, and I appreciate it. Anybody who's on and digs this, please do a thumbs up or share the page. That would be fantastic. And if you have a Twitch account, please go over there and hang there for a few minutes if you want. You can come back to your favorite platform if you're not a Twitch fan. But What I do hear is that the audio and the video definitely better over there. I don't hear it. I do see it myself. I like the freeze function on my Strymon Big Sky. Yes, that is a very cool thing. It creates a nice drone. I have that in one of my other presets, but I forget which one I did it on. So the freeze function is really cool. The way I cheat with the freeze function is I have the looper, and then I just really quickly I'll do a chord like, say, like this, and then I'll hit record and play real quick, and then that'll just go. It's the same idea, and then I can practice over the top of that. But that could get annoying. I kind of find that the best way to get that to not sound so staccato is to get out of that, go over to here, and then do the record when it's a little quieter, and then hit play. So that way you're not nailing that downbeat strong, and then it always goes da 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 da. So now it's less, sounds a little more believable. And then I'll reverse it. Oh, that didn't do anything this time. Whoops. See some people jumping on. Let's see. Let's say hi. So, Feisty Feather, hello. How are you? Good to see you. And I thought somebody else new jumped in here, but where did it go? Okay, maybe not. Maybe not. Awesome. So, yeah, basically just celebrating Guitar Month, International Guitar Month. So, it's not just a national thing here in the U.S. It was set up by this association called GAMA, which is the Guitar Accessories and Marketing Association, and they wanted to just try and promote guitar and accessories during the month of April. And the first one was back in 1987. Yeah. So, you know, I was in retail for quite a while, and here and there we would do sales and stuff, but I don't really remember anybody really doing like a guitar sale featuring like International Guitar Month. Very few and far between, but I think it needs to be done, or at least acknowledged, because guitar is awesome. And what I'm trying to do is just get all of my guitar playing friends to just get on it. Get on the guitar and play. You know, especially the beginners. You know, get out your guitar, leave it out for the whole month. Leave it out on the stand, provided you don't have like kids or a large dog who might knock it over. But yeah, if you have the opportunity to leave it out, then do that. Because when it's in the case, in the closet, under the bed, in the corner, whatever, you're not going to practice. You're not going to pick it up. But I do have students that tell me that once they did that, they walk by it 10 times a day, and they pick it up probably 6 times out of 10 passings. So, yeah, keep it out. I guess we were talking about things to do during Guitar Month. Like, I don't know, we were talking about going to shows. That was in the last few episodes. We talked about buying gear. Buying new guitars, of course, is always a great thing. Let's see. One good thing you could do that doesn't cost anything is just get yourself on YouTube or Spotify and listen to some new artists that aren't in your regular wheelhouse. You know, pick something that's like obscure or random and just give it a listen. You know, guitar oriented. These platforms have such great searches. You could just search guitar music or whatever, you know, and new guitar releases or suggest some kind of guitar oriented genre, and it'll just do it, you know. So it's so cool. What I'd like to do one of these days is get out to I think it's in Chicago, and check out the Hard Rock Museum. I think, is that where it is? I forget, but that's one of my things that I'd like to do. Of course, this month that's not going to happen, but down the road that would be something I want to do. I want to see like the Jimi Hendrix display, and they have all kinds of cool stuff there. Speaking of displays, anybody watching make it to New York to see the Van Halen exhibit with not just the Van Halen exhibit, but there was a full rock exhibit. Had Jimi Hendrix stuff, it had Van Halen, it had Tom Morello. Who else was there? Had some Clapton guitars, it had stuff from Slash, Jimmy Page. Yeah, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland. That would be cool. Not Chicago. Cleveland. The other thing I'd like to do is see Paisley Park. That would be really cool. So those are like a few things that I would like to do to celebrate guitar. Other than buying a guitar. So that's easy, sort of. That's like an easy fix. I'm gonna go see some historic stuff. That would be cool. But yeah, getting back to the guitar, I think perhaps we lost our new viewer. There hasn't been any more comments from Amy. But the other awesome thing about this guitar is the fanned frets. So when you get up to this upper range here, it's really ergonomic for your wrist. Whoops, where are you? Because the frets slant with the direction that your hand is going in. Yeah. Fan frets rule. Yeah, Mike just got a Dingwall bass. If any of you guys and gals are into bass, check out Dingwall. They're pretty awesome. It has fan frets on it. And ergonomic. That's the way everything seems to be going these days that are more of a modern guitar company. These features are definitely sought after now. Of course, you know, Fender and Gibson serve their spot in the retail and the music industry. They have a specific sound, but I really feel that there's so much more to offer in same price or less than those brands. This thing weighs 5 pounds. You know, it's a neck through, so you can reach really high up. Yeah. So let's see. Let me make sure. I'll have a look here. Make sure we're working. Are we working? I don't know if we're working. Yeah, it looks like it's going. Cool. Zip. All right. Just want to see if the comments are matching up with the software. All right. Looks like it is. So I have a software that brings all the comments from all the platforms, and sometimes I think I miss stuff, and I think it's probably because it's not doing its job properly. Bob, hello, Bob, welcome. How do you like it compared to a Kiesel headless? I've tried some Kiesel stuff at the 2019 NAMM show, and as far as I guess what I was looking for was a unique looking guitar, and a lot of the Kiesel stuff just looks like a Strat with the headstock cut off, or a sort of Les Paul style with the headstock cut off. They played great, they really did, but they weren't that light. I was expecting it to be lighter than they were. That makes sense. You know, you look at it and it's a smaller looking instrument, but it wasn't that much lighter. But it was built great. The neck was more, it was round, you know, standard, but it was more like an Ibanez neck, which is cool because I love Ibanez. Obviously, you guys have seen me play the Pias, and those are awesome instruments. So yeah, they're great guitars. I just I didn't get on with them that well, and I would really, the fanned frets thing definitely caught my attention, and they don't do that. At least they don't do that, I should say, with a tremolo bar, because that's a little more difficult. I don't know if you can tell, but if you look at the tremolo bar, the bar had to be designed in a specific way to go with the fan. So if you see how this fret is angled here, and then you see how the bridge, the tailpiece, each pole piece, or bridge saddle, I should really say, that's the proper name. The bridge saddle is on an angle, same angle as the fret. So basically, you have to have that style tremolo bar, and I don't think any other company does this except for Strandberg. Yeah. Let's see, what else? Dwight has a Jackson bass guitar I've been playing and adding some bass to my videos. Cool. Yeah, Jacksons are great. I have an old, was one of my first neck it was, yeah, besides the Les Paul, it was my first neck through guitar, and thanks. And the thing is built really well, and it was with me forever. Like, I played everywhere back in the day with that guitar. It was that, my Kramer, and my Les Paul. Those were the three guitars I would bring to gigs. And one night, and it used to be where the Eddie Van Halen guitar is over there, and one night I played it, and I guess I didn't put it back on the hook properly, and I came down the next day, and it was on the floor, and there was a giant chunk taken out of the headstock, and the paint looked cracked, and I thought for sure it was a clean crack and it was broken. And I picked the guitar up, and I hit a chord, and it was still in tune. So Jackson guitars are just built like tanks. They are awesome. I still have to take that to a luthier and see if it's a full crack or if it's just a surface crack from the paint. But I imagine it had a little bit of a lesser drop because the fractal used to be under that guitar, and then I figure it hit that, and then it probably tipped over and then fell more so like body first, but still it cracked, and I was just so upset. It's, yep. Just showed up. Yeah, I was sad. I was sad that day for sure. Oh, it was such a bummer. You know, that guitar came with me on my first trip ever to California. Yeah, that guitar has been through a lot, many gigs. Um, yeah, thanks. Just talking about it, I'm like, oh man, I could see it across the room, and you know the pointy bit of the Jackson headstocks, that little point is broken off too, so it's like there's like a bunch of chips all around the headstock. The body is fine, nothing happened to it, and again, like I said, I picked it up and I played, and I couldn't believe it was still in tune. But yeah, I gotta get that fixed. There's a few guitars that I have that I really have to get fixed because they're killer instruments and they mean a lot to me. So I gotta get on that. All right. So one thing that I used to do every year, well, I did it every month actually, for many years, was I did an open mic. I did two of them actually. One was called the Young Talent Showcase, and the other was called Spread the Jam. And that was a little inspiration from the Spread the Jam one. Was the inspired by the Infectious Grooves. If anybody knows Infectious Grooves, Mike says bring him back. I might bring him back. I'll use you as the bass player and your buddy Angelo. Maybe that's what we'll do. But that would be cool. I got to bring him back. It was a lot of fun, and so many people really enjoyed it. We would have pretty much every weekend. It would be pretty packed. It was a really good event, and a lot of people again had a lot of fun. And it was some of them. It was their first time on stage. Some of them were, just coming up by themselves, so they needed a band, so my band would back them. I would also place other people together that I knew, like, oh, okay, that one plays like this, and this one plays similar, so we'll bring those two up at the same time. So it was really cool. It was a great, fun 4-hour event. Yeah, fix that first guitar I ever bought you. I know. Gotta bring it to my buddy Patrick, all the way up in Stonehill, New York, I think he is. He's awesome. He does a lot of great stuff. He's actually the owner of Brian Moore Guitars. If you guys are familiar with Brian Moore, they're incredible guitars. Yeah. Let's see. What did Mike say? Yes, and Trujillo, he's now in Metallica. But what a bass player. Nobody knows how great he is because he just plays Metallica tunes. But my God, is he good. Holy cow. Wendy knows. You got autocorrect. It should be Sprek. Sprek. You got autocorrected, Wendy. Sarsipius Sillimanmagic Jackson the Third. That's right. Yeah, I think I saw some of your videos, or at least one. I recognized that you had a Brian Moore. Yeah, they're awesome guitars. Brian Moore guitars are great. I don't have any of his real fancy like MIDI guitars. But he did soup up a Parker Fly for me. He put in a Sustainiac. He put in a Ghost piezo system for the Roland GK. So you need work done, check out Patrick up at Brian Moore Guitars. I think his website is called iGuitar Workshop, if I'm not mistaken. Dude is great. Great talent with wood and electronics. We're bringing out all the suicidal tendencies and infectious grooves quotes. Superfly. Yes, Pooh Ninja, what's up? Thanks for the birthday wish the other day. I saw it. I don't know if you saw it. I did acknowledge it. Thank you. Yeah, so let's see. What else? I think this month everybody should at least try and restring their main guitar. You know, show it some love, clean it up, and do that, because you know what? It's really funny how you get used to a set of strings and you don't realize how dead they are until you put on a new set of strings and you're like, oh man, I was struggling like with this terrible set of strings this whole time and didn't realize it. And I'm the worst for that. Like, I am the worst. So I'm going to have to restring this guitar soon, and probably my main Parker, which is right there, because I haven't changed the strings on this since October, because these are the pink strings that I do for every October for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And then the Parker, I don't think I changed those for a year at least. I have a little, what is that, notes in the Notes app for restrings, so I can keep track by month and year. So, because I don't remember when I change them. Oh, yes. Let's see. Zip. Whose guitar is Opal-Scent purple one? Oh, the no, that's Brian Moore. That's the Brian Moore guitar. It has that crazy paint that changes from green to purple to brownish. It's pretty wild. Let's see. Wendy's laughing. It's a great idea. I hate changing strings, even with locking tuners. Yeah, it's. So this guitar actually is pretty easy to change the strings on, but you have to block the tremolo bar. I did a video on it. It's on my YouTube channel. But what you do is you put in this section here, not back here, but between the bridge and the block of wood of the body, you got to put something back there, and then it keeps the bridge set, and then you can unloosen these, and the strings just pull right out. And it takes a little bit of time, but once you put them in, strung up maybe in 15-20 minutes, and it's in tune and it doesn't budge. So the tuning stability on the Strandbergs are pretty incredible. However, the Parker, I hate to say it, is way more stable and a lot easier. So there's no locking mechanisms and nothing to loosen or tighten, and it has a really cool switch on the back that locks the bridge in place, and then you could just string it through like a Les Paul, straight through, boom, bring it up, and then it has the locking tuners, and you can just cut them off. That guitar takes like 5 minutes to do all 6 strings. Like, literally, I'm not even kidding. 5 minutes and I can have a whole Parker Fly restrung. And I still hate doing it. But yeah, Floyd Roses are difficult to deal with. They are difficult to deal with. Let's see. Pooh says, I try to set up a luthier visit for one guitar per year to keep everything tuned up. Just a nice high-level setup. Yeah, it does make a big difference. You get your guitar set up, and then it's like, wow, I didn't know it could play this good. And everything gets easier, and you're just like, it's like a new guitar. It's unbelievable. Rob MC, hanging out. Hello, Rob. Whoops, stop moving. There we go. I use a couple of coins taped together to block the bridge. Yeah, like you said. Saves a ton of time, yes, dealing with that Floyd Rose. If you want to put one of those tremolos in, that'll solve the problem too. But I think the tremolo may affect the flutter. And I'm not sure about that, so you can't really quote me on that because I don't own one and I don't know. But I do know that I'm pretty sure I should say before I say I do know. I'm pretty sure Steve Vai has a tremolo on one of his gems, and he still can flutter. So I imagine it works, but he doesn't have it on all of them. So I imagine it does affect the intensity of the flutter, maybe. Yeah, and that in case some people are like, "What the heck are you talking about, flutter?" This is the flutter. And I really think the first one, whoever did this, was Jeff Beck on a Fender Strat, believe it or not. But here's the flutter sound. Usually you have to swing the bar backward and do this, and that's where you get the most extreme flutter. And it's like kicking a beehive. That's a great effect. I love it. And it's funny. I see a lot of the guys on the Stramberg Facebook page complaining they can't get their Stramberg to flutter, but you just heard it. Flutters like a maniac. It's pretty cool. Yes. It's like kicking a beehive down the street. You know? Oh my god. Yeah, Jeff really worked the bar, man. He just everything he did was just awesome. It's such a shame. We saw him right here at a local theater, close up. I think we were second row. And it was amazing. It was really cool. Funny story about that though. One of my students also went to go see Jeff Beck that same night, and he was on the opposite side, but real close too. And Jeff walks out, and he's playing, and he steps on his cable and unplugs himself. And before Jeff could plug it in, which was like super fast. I mean, you couldn't even tell he unplugged himself. That's how slick he was. He was doing whatever song, and he stepped on it, and he unplugged himself, and he just kind of went down, grabbed it, plugged back in, and kept going. It was like nobody saw it except my student. And he sent me a text message, and I screenshot it, and I have it saved. And he said, "And that's why you tell us to always put our cable through our strap, isn't it?" So it was hilarious. But yeah, Jeff is probably the only one on the planet who could have made it made an effortless save with that. It was just like he's playing, steps on his cable, unplugs himself, swings down, grabs it, plugs back in, and keeps playing. It was awesome. However, the other guy who did that years ago on TV was CC DeVille. Anybody remember that? The CC DeVille episode on one of those award shows on MTV or something. And he was running across the stage, and he unplugged himself, and he's like looking around like he's all mad, like someone shut him off. He didn't even know he unplugged himself. It was pretty sad. Oh well. He's a great guitar player, by the way. CC is really good. Let's see. You guys are chatting. Have a flutter on the horses. Awesome. Oh yes, and the bees. That's hilarious. All right, I have a few vintage style guitars, but my favorite these days is the Charvel DK24HH. Yeah, those DKs are awesome. Easy neck to play, like the recessed trim and the jack on the... Yes, so they really have such great feel to the neck. I don't know if you've played the Frankenstrat, not the one behind me, but that one actually has the similar neck. The red and black and white, the one everybody recognizes as Eddie. So that guitar, and I believe that one, are made through Fender, but also Fender owns Charvel. So a lot of the newer necks are like the old Charvel necks. And those necks in particular on the EVH brands are more Charvel style because from what I understand, when Eddie went and bought the parts for the original Frankenstrat, he went to Charvel and he asked them for a body, and he didn't really have that much money, and they came back with like a finished body, and he's like, no, I need something like cheap, just what's the cheapest one you got? And they gave him an unfinished body and a neck, and that's the original Frankenstrat, which was the Charvel. I'm pretty sure that's the right story. If anybody knows any differently, then put it in the comments or in the underneath after the video comes out. But yeah, that's what I heard. I heard he went to Charvel, got the cheapest body off of like a block, off of like a unfinished pile that was going to be painted, and grabbed the neck, and all those parts on that guitar cost like $200. And now they're going for like $25,000. I'm really glad they put out like a real affordable one, because I played the $25,000 one at Manny's Music once. They had it there. I was doing a guitar clinic, and they took it out of the case, and man, that thing played great, and it just had all the cigarette burns and everything. I mean, it was really super, super detailed. My God, it was so expensive though. And it had the flight case. It had the Van Halen 1 album signed. Yeah, it was a really cool thing, but only like doctors and lawyers can afford that, or other musicians that, you know, like Slash. But I think Eddie gave him a guitar. So, like, why would he want to buy one? Surfer Boy says, I remember hearing that story. Yes, I'm pretty sure that was it. He was broke and went to the Charvel warehouse. Just said, give me that something over there. I don't even care. It might have been even the blemished pile, because a lot of the guys who do these like Frankenstrat builds, there's a specific spot, I think it's here, where there's a knot, like a wood knot, and you could see it in the paint when you look at it. And it's just one of those things that makes the actual like mojo of that guitar. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to play a little bit too. Usually play. So I'm going to see if we can hopefully not break the audio tonight. Where are you? Cool. I think we're good. I'm going to do another original. This one's called Zero Gravity. Hopefully I remember it. All right. So let's get the mic audio off so you guys can have the good audio. Oops. I didn't want the next song to start. Oh well. I still haven't figured out how to stop the songs from running into each other. It's different because on the laptop I have an older software than I do on the desktop, and the newer iTunes. It's not even called iTunes anymore. I think it's called Music. Right? Where is it? Yeah, it's just Music. Apple Music. It doesn't have the little check next to it that you can disable. So I have to Google it. I'll get it. Maybe for next time. Yes, Bond. James Bond. And now I probably have a copyright strike for that 10 seconds that played. Actually, how long was that? Let's see, does it say? Yeah, it's probably like 3 seconds. I'll probably get a copyright notice. All right, so let's see. I guess for tonight, because these were only supposed to be an hour to begin with, but they've been turning into 2. But, or more. The other night I went for 2.5 hours. So, I may stop soon. I don't know. We'll see. What else? Did I miss anything while I was playing? Let's see who's here. All right, cool. Yeah, everybody. I think I've seen everybody's comments. Hopefully this is working, because it does say that there's more people here than are in the comments. So if you're here, say hi. Say hi. Ask a question. Don't just hide in the shadows. It's all good. Everybody's super friendly. And, if you're new, say hi, I'm new. Yeah, it's all good. You're not new, but howdy. And sure, why not? Hey, Jamie Jackanet is here. He's hanging out. All right. Jamie just bought himself a Strandberg. I hope you're digging it, man. I love them. I think they're great. They play so good. Again, they play differently than the Parker Fly, but they play great. Yeah. Isn't that weird? So Wendy's on all 3 platforms, and she had tabs open up on each one, and when she went to the different ones, they're like, the timing is so off. She's got mind blown. Yes. Yeah, it's weird. Let's see. After I pay the Dingwall off, I think I'll get a Bowden 5. Yeah, you know what? They're pretty killer. Those, the bases are awesome. What's Jamie have to say? I'm playing your Weapons of Mass Destruction riff with it. I'm watching. Nice. Cool. Very cool. Let's see. Is that queued up? Maybe I'll play that one. Oh, that's weird. It's not there. Let's stretch this out. Open up. Are you hiding in the, Oh, there it is. There it is. Yeah. I think I'll do that. I might do that with the Pia, though. I like playing WMD on the Pia a lot. It's, it just favors that kind of playing. Don't forget the laser gun. You know what? I did forget the laser gun last time. I pulled the bar out and whacked the strings. And it sounded like, it was pretty close. It's just nothing beats the laser gun. It's pretty cool. Laser gun's fun. Got that from Steve Stevens from Billy Idol, so I can't take credit for that on my own, but that was definitely a Steve Stevens thing. Actually, Jamie was there when I used it, and it broke, and I blew it up. I usually had a piece of foam on the stage that I put the gun, well, toss the gun onto when I'm done with it. But I don't know what happened. I either missed the foam and it hit the floor and it exploded, and you can't get those guns anymore. I got that gun in like the 80s, so you just can't find them. They're hard to find. They're on eBay and they cost a ton of money now, but you gotta find the old laser weapons. All right, so let me grab the other guitar and the laser gun, and I'll be right back in 2 seconds. Where is my pause the broadcast? Be right back. That's right. Intermission. Let's all go to the lobby. That's right. Oh, yes. So we got the Pia. Let's put the gun in a very easily to grab spot and to put back without breaking it, because that would suck. Oh, yes. Yeah, Rob MC knows. Let's all go to the lobby, right? Got the popcorn. Oh, yeah. All right. Let's see here. Good. We have massive delay. I love it. All right, so let's get to WMD preset, which is over here. Cool. And then we should probably move the footstool so I don't knock it over. All right, so we'll do a little WMD, and maybe we'll call it an evening tonight. We'll do an hour and 15. All right, where are we? WMD, here you are. Let me get our good audio. Oh, you've been off all week, but back to work tomorrow. Boo, yeah. Oh, bummer. Well, I hope you had some good time and useful things that you did with your time off, and maybe just even chilling is useful. So I hope you had a good vacation. Let's see here. All right. I'm going to shut the mic off, and then we will get cracking.
infinite mass destruction is human.
Hey, hey. Oh, let's stop the music before it's too late. Did it stop? Nobody knows. Nobody can tell. Ah, see, it didn't stop. There it is. Ah, thank you. Oh, thanks, Rob. Oh, that's funny. Wendy has the laser gun and the bomb going. Oh, yes. Yeah, so if anybody's on Twitch right now, please say hi. That would really help me out. I'm trying to become a partner over there. And if you can and you don't have one, please get yourself an account over there. It's free, and it will definitely help me become a partner. And then what winds up happening is I'll be able to make some money from Twitch, and it doesn't cost you anything. Yes. So glad you're back doing your thing. Missed it loads. Thanks, Rob. That's awesome. I appreciate it. It's cool. It'd be metal. Holy moly. Got some popcorn. Nice. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I haven't, been playing too much of the songs. So, I'm definitely out of shape with those guys. Yes, beat me up, Scotty, with the guns, the laser guns. But let's see. Harder to use the gun when you're not standing up. It sounds very low. You know what? I noticed that. I don't know if it's because I'm not standing up. The batteries might be going in this thing. I don't know. It seemed quiet to me too. I don't know what the deal is, but I haven't used it since October, so who knows? Good chance it needs a battery change. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, it was fun. It's a fun song to play. Mike has played WMD with me. Mike is one of my students. He's now going to Montclair for recording, and he's getting his bass. I think it's a minor in jazz. So yeah, he's doing it. He's going to be the next generation of music and teachers. Yeah. Thanks, man. The hands are like, okay, we need a break. Have some coffee and talk before you play another one. Yeah, it's funny. I don't know what it is with Mike, just the name Mike in general. But I have a former student, Mike, who opened up a School of Rock. I have another former student, Mike, who is I guess he's kind of a big deal at Sam Ash. I have another Mike who went to GIT in California. And I have this Mike going to Montclair State. So it's pretty cool. Got a bunch of mics. So if you want to be a student of mine, you got to beat out the mics. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Who else is hanging? On fire. Thanks. Yeah, it's really cool teaching, I got to say. And it's great to see when other, when the students start to take it seriously. You could tell it's like a switch. It's like something goes off. It's really cool. They all start out with the same kind of like, I don't know about this thing. I want to play, but it's hard. It's like it's not easy. It's not an easy instrument, bass or guitar. Any instrument, none of them are easy. They all have some sort of, learning curve. Maybe piano's easier than some other things, but still, that's not an easy instrument either. And you need to have a dedicated personality, and then some, to really get good on an instrument. Yes, you do. It's true. You get what you put in. And a lot of people get frustrated, doing this whole guitar month thing. I was checking out, some guitar type statistics, and one of the things that was mentioned was that 90% of beginners quit before they even get any kind of results because they just get frustrated. And I guess they think that, you know, and usually it's non-guitar teacher related students, so people think they can just pick it up and start doing stuff, and that's not the case. Oh, yes. A bunch of mics. Yes, sir. I got a twitch in my eye. Yes, sir. Yes, it takes patience and time, dedication, and you got to be regular with it. It can't be, play and then skip 3 days and then play and then, for like 2 hours and then skip a week. It's better to do small increments of practice than to do these giant bursts and not practice for a while, because what winds up happening is you don't want to scratch the guitar. Hold my sweatshirt zipper, so let's adjust that. There we go. Yeah, you just don't want to have these like big blocks of time where you play and then you don't play for another week, which is a big block of time not to play. So that's why I always tell my students, leave the guitar out every time you walk by it. If you have time, just play something, even if it's for a minute, and then most of the time that minute turns into 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and sometimes it takes and turns into an hour or two. Like these hangs on line, I didn't expect to go as long. Honestly, I figured, I'll go on every day for a half hour. That should be enough. I'll run out of things to talk about. Yeah, sure. I'll never run out of stuff to talk about. But, it's like they turn into 2-hour sessions. I was saying that like an hour mark I was going to stop, and now we're at 20 minutes later. Yes, sir. Picking it up every day lately since buying a new... Oh, yeah, what did you get? I forget. I think you told me. I don't remember what guitar did you get, Rob? If you put it in the comments already, I apologize because I didn't see it go by. But what did you get? Let us know. New guitars and new gear are always inspiring. So, you can get a new pedal, even a new pick. So, this is crazy. Check this out. I don't think I talked about this yet. So, this pick is called the V pick. Oh, that's backwards, isn't it? V pick. V pick S for small. There. I'll hold it over the black part of my shirt and you can see it better. Epiphone Les Paul Standard. Nice. Yeah. Those are cool. Send me a pic. Nice. All right, cool. Yeah, so back to the pick. So these are these V picks, and he makes them out of a special acrylic, and they're kind of pointy. And the edge is a smooth, beveled edge, trying to get the right angle. But the story about that particular one is a student gave me that in 2004 after he saw some guy post that pick, that he's making these picks. And they were like $3 back then. Now they're like $5.50. So anyway, he gave me one to try. He goes, "Oh, check this out. It's got your initial on it." and you can keep it. So I was like, okay. So I've been playing with this to practice because it has that beveled edge and it's really like smooth. Um, Play a solo line. I will, and I'll use this pick. So it's really cool because the beveled edge gives you a little more speed. And I believe Petrucci was using these for a while, and he has his own signature picks now. But the cool thing about them, again, is that they are super smooth. And they're good for kind of like the sweeping thing, which I don't do. I'm not a big fan of the sweep picking, but I like to do like little triadic type sweep picks where it's just not the whole neck and just constantly, you know. Anyway, but they're super smooth for that. So what wound up happening was I was like, you know what? Let me see if they're still making these picks, and they were. So I called the guy, and the guy's name is Vince. V Picks. So we had this conversation. I told him about the pick, and he said, you know what? Send me a picture. And I said, I'm already on ahead of you. I have a picture on my phone, planning to send it in an email. He goes, just text it to me. So I sent it to him, and he goes, I haven't made those in like forever. You know, it looks like you wore it out a little bit, but he's like, considering how long you've had it, since 2004, it's like pretty much brand new. So anyway, so he sent me some picks. I bought a bunch of them. And I bought a bunch of different sizes and colors. And here is one of them. And you could maybe see the bevel on this guy. Let's do that trick with my arm. There we go. So you can see it against the black background a little better. He put a little hole in the center so you can grip it. You see that little hole there? And it's really awesome because it glides. So recently, I think it was last night's broadcast, we were talking about Frank Gambale and how he picks. And the guy said, you should check out how he picks. Straight Out of Serotonin, I think, was the one who mentioned it. And I checked it out. And he uses this angled picking technique, which is something I actually do. And it really helps with the fast picking. It is a thick pick. It's a very thick pick. Let's pop that up there. I'm missing all the comments. So yes, it's a very thick pick. And that's the small. Now, he sent me a larger one. Look at this thing. And this is like the size that Frank Gambale uses, but this thing's like way pointier. And it's like seriously like a Chinese star. You can kill somebody with this thing. It's really pointy. And I think I bought it because it had a wacky cool name. And of course you can't see the name because it's in the same color. Yeah. Can we even see that with a flashlight? Let's see. It has a cool name though. Oh, that's right. It's called the Screamer. Oh, yes. It's called the Screamer by V-Pix. So I was like, yeah, send me that one. That one just sounds great. Just because of the name. Let's see. But looks like it wore out the strings. Looks like it would wear out the strings. It's so pointy. No, I've been using this and, the strings are cool. Yeah, Brian May uses like a quarter, and he kills his guitar strings, but they sound great. He uses a quarter, and so does, what's his name from ZZ Top? Billy Gibbons. Yeah, he uses a quarter as well. But, let me back up here because you guys were chatting about some stuff and I think I missed it. About practicing, yes. Picking up the guitar every day. We got this Epiphone and then play a solo line. I played a solo line for you there, Kadir. Hopefully that was cool. um, yes, Surfer Boy. Guitar. It's a lifetime journey. I'm always learning something. Yeah, the picks. Always learning something, and these picks are really wild for practice. I have this pick here from the 80s. It's called the Stylus pick. And this we need to put against the white background. Look at that tip. It's like a diamond head. You see how that is? And when you play with this pick, you'll get stuck on the strings if you're not careful. So you got to put your fingers all the way up to the tip, and that's the proper way to hold the pick. And if you do that, you're supposed to glide across the strings with the pick, not dig in. And that gets you the speed. But as soon as you go and get away from the... Let's do it over here. As soon as you get away from the tip, it locks onto a string, and you can't move. So that's the proper way to learn how to pick, is use the tip. And, Frank Gambale, he's an Australian guitar player, jazz fusion. He's ridiculous. And you got to check him out. He's really good. But anyway, playing that kind of stuff. Sloppy. Cool pick, V picks, and then of course I love the Jazz 3s. Those were my go-to pick for years, the Dunlop Jazz 3s, and then I had my own picks made, like the Dunlop Jazz 3. So I have a pick dilemma. I have to decide which ones. I have to pick a pick to play with. Yes, but I do like the Jazz 3s and the V picks. Those are my favorite ones. Let's see, what do we have? Yep, I saw that. He has iron fingers on the guitar. It's an old British coin. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, and some of those are thicker than the regular quarters that we have over here. Heavy metal. That's crazy. I've never seen anything like it before. Yes, the Stylus pick. I think they're still in business, these guys, with the crazy tip. You could see it, like plain as day against the white, like how big that is. And then it locks onto the strings. They still make them. They had like this whole program. You'd buy the pick and then you got a CD with it, and it would teach you how to speed pick. And it was a whole thing back in the 80s. To go on with that. What country do you live in? I live in the U.S. What country do you live in? I've been holding the pick wrong then. Yeah, a lot of people wind up holding the pick wrong, and what happens is you tend to get stuck on the strings. So angle it just a little bit. So a lot of people pick flat, like straight down. Oh, the comment's in the way. Let's get the dark one. So a lot of people pick straight, flat down like this, right? Let's get closer. There we go. So straight and flat. You want to have just a little bit of an angle and glide across the strings. Think of it like if you've ever skimmed a rock across the lake. That's the way the pick should be across the strings. You shouldn't dig in. Like if you're doing this and you're going down past the string, then that's slowing you down a lot. You just want to glide across. That's what you really want. Yeah. Just found the sixpence. Just found it. It's a 6-pence coin. Ah, all right. That was a band. 6-pence none the wiser, I think, or something like that. Let's see. Nice bevel. Yes. What else do we have? NP Metal says very cool. I like a thin flicky pick for strumming. Yes, that's cool too. The thin picks are good, especially on acoustic. You don't get the clanky hit against the strings. But that could also be adjusted if you pick lighter. You won't get the heavy, pick sound. Where can we get these picks? Well, if you're talking about the crazy stylus pick, just Google stylus pick. STYLUS pick. Yep, just stylus pick. And if you actually do buy one, throw my name in an email, and just say, hey, Vince Janella turned me onto this. They may remember me from years ago. I used to manage a store called Bach2Rock before the Bach2Rock chain became big here in the U.S. It was a different entity altogether. And we were like one of the only stores that had this pick. So we got a lot of customers because he put us on their website, the Stylus Company. But yeah, if you get them, say Vince sent you. And same with the V picks. If you go and talk to Vinny, he'll actually talk to you on the phone if you have questions. He'll ask you like, what pick do you use, and then he'll let you know like what's compatible. Vinny's a great guy. And again, tell him I sent you. What else do I have by him? I have this one. This is more of a traditional pick, but he put holes in it so you could hold it better. And it's a little thinner than the what my friend likes to call the manhole covers. He's like, dude, you play with manhole covers. I can't play with that. So this thing doesn't budge either. It's a very thick pick, even though it's less of a thickness than this guy. And the grips on them are great. You really, you won't drop it. So I think they're a little brighter too. So if you like that sound, not like a tinny bright in a bad way, but just a rounder, brighter sound, when you're playing. So pretty cool pick. I like it. Dwight says, great hanging out, Vince. Rocking hard. Hope you have a good night. Take care. Thanks for being here, Dwight. We'll catch you another time. I have a Steve Vai pick that he threw to me at his Ireland show. Yes, I remember that. Wendy and I were fortunate to be better than front row. We were in the photography pit. And you could actually see it on, if you Google, well, don't Google it, do it on YouTube. If you search Steve Vai, I think it's Racing the World at, now I can't think of the name of the place, in Ireland. Wendy, you remember the name of the place? I can't remember the name of the place for some reason. Darn it. But anyway, you could see this guy videotaped the show from the back of the room, but you could see Vai walk over to stage, to the left side, if you're looking at it, to the left side of the stage, and he kind of just leans over and tosses Wendy a pick. You can't see it's her, but that's the moment he threw the pick to her. It's pretty cool. Yeah. You should have popped over if... Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't know you then. This was 2012 when we went. We went to get that guitar. Nope. that guitar. There it is, that one. Which I will have hopefully a nice episode just featuring that guitar with the guy who built it. I'm trying to see if we can work that out. That would be really cool. That is Alistair Hay from Emerald Guitars. Really good dude and very talented. Very talented. He's got such an amazing line of acoustic guitars. Yes, I have no excuses now. So when we get time and we get over to England, we will. Yes, because you're close. We've been threatening to go visit Alistair again, so. Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Definitely. We might take you up on that. Careful. It won't be free. I'll give you some guitar lessons, man. Absolutely. Yeah, so, just every little nuance of guitar matters. So, like, the picks, the strings. I have to play completely differently on my Super Strat style guitars than I do on, like, a Les Paul, because the strings I have on these are 8s. This one is 9s still, but I'm going to change it to 8s. The other one has 8s, the Pia, the black Pia. My blue Parker, that has, right there, that guy, that has 8s. When you have 8s for rock, actually I know a lot of guys that are jazz and they use 8s too, believe it or not. It's an easier feel. A lot of people are like, oh, you gotta have heavy strings to get good tone, but that's not true. Eddie used 8s. Steve Vai uses 7.5s. Billy Gibbons uses 7s. So, but you have to learn to play those. Like you can't hit the guitar the same way as a guitar with 11s on it if you have 8s or 7s, something much lighter. So, yes, what does Wendy have to say? Hey, Rob, Alistair lives in Northern Ireland. We drove 5 hours from the airport, I think. We were right on the border. Yeah, we landed at, was it the Dublin airport, I believe? And then drove all the way out to Derry. I think it was Derry, Ireland. And I remember this place now that I'm talking about all of this. Vicar Street. So look up Vicar Street, Steve Vai, Racing the World, and you'll see Steve hand Wendy a pick from afar. You won't actually see Wendy or the pick, but that's what's going on in that video. Ireland is beautiful. That was the first time we went, and we were on a rather tight schedule. And we drove and saw a lot from the car, but we didn't get to see much more than the actual, Derry and Dublin. Those were the 2 places that we spent most time in. Johnny, enjoy guitar, bass, and travel. What do you think about Elixir strings? I like Elixir strings. I used them a long time ago, before I got my somewhat endorsement. I can say I'm endorsed by DR Strings. I still have to pay for them, but I'm not an A-list artist who gets free stuff. But I get a nice discount. And DR is awesome. Great story with that is I was on a trip from Sweden. But real quick, to finish up with the Elixirs, I like the NanoWeb more than I like the regular Polyweb, I think was the name. I like the NanoWeb because there was more of a string feel to it than the regulars. And I think the regulars were actually called Polyweb. They just had more of a glide to them and still a nice string feel, if you can relate to that. And I used them a lot mostly on my acoustics, and I used the nanowebs on the electric. But since then, I've been using the DR strings. Um, been endorsed by them for many years. When I was managing Bach to Rock, I would always talk to this one guy in particular, Anthony over there, and we got friendly on the phone, and he knew what I was up to and all of that fun stuff. So at one point, they were giving me strings for a long time, and then we I was on a flight from Sweden, and I had a guitar magazine open, and it was a double page ad for DR Strings. I was just reading the magazine, and I happened to flip, and it was on that page, and I was just looking at the artists, and I was just about to turn, and this guy puts his hand on the page so I wouldn't turn it, and he goes, "Those are my strings." And I look, and I'm like, I recognize that voice. And I said, "Oh, yeah?" And then he looks at me, and he looked confused as I did with like, that your voice sounds familiar kind of thing. And it turns out it was Anthony from DR on the same plane back from Sweden that I was on. And that was the first time we met. After like literally like 8 or 10 years of me talking to him on the phone, that was the first time we met, was on a flight back from Sweden. Pretty crazy. But yeah, the DR Veritas are one of my favorites, and the Dimebag High Voltage. Those are the ones that I use. And then for eights, DR doesn't offer too many choices in eights, so I think I use the High Tension, or I can't remember the name of them, but I just tell them give me eights because that's the only ones they have, so there's not too many choices. And the other eights that I use are either the Cobalt from Ernie Ball, or the I can't remember the name of them. Steve Vai started using them, and I figured Petrucci started using them. I figured I'd give them a try. They have a weird feel to them, and they're darker. Paradigm, I think, is the name of the string. Really cool. They play great. So, all right. Well, anybody have any questions? Being that there's still some people not chatting, you're in the background there. We got close to 20 people on all 4 platforms. We're going between 20, 17. It's fluxing back and forth. See, now I said something. Now we're down to 13. Anyway, anybody have any questions? I know there's people watching, but you're not talking. Come on. I can't do all the talking. All right. Well, I think we'll call it a night then. Let's see. Do I have a song I want to play? I'm not going to do 007 because I haven't played that in forever. What's your favorite size strings? That would definitely be the 8s for me. Yeah. I like the 8s. 8s with Paradigm and the Cobalt. I think that's the other brand. Those are the Ernie balls. And then 9s, I like the Veritas and the Dimebag Darrell. So, yeah, check them out. They're real good. If you could find 8s in DR, I recommend them, but the Ernie Ball stuff is killer. Would the 8s work on the Parker with the 9 spring? Yes. You would have to do some adjusting, though. And this Parker has 8s on it. And I'll tell you what, if you think it's easy now with 9s, 8s is ridiculous. So it might be something you might not like, because it's going to be really easy. I mean, it's like incredibly easy. You've been using 9s. Okay. So yeah, 8s are crazy good on a Parker. I started using eights a while ago on the Parker, and then I had a student who had bought a Parker during the pandemic. I was helping him find it, and he bought it. And he's like, "What gauge do you have on yours?" And I said, "I have eights." And he's like, "Oh, these are nines, and it's really easy." So he went and bought eights, and he texted me. He's like, "Dude, it's just too easy." I said, "Yeah, I told you." Nothing plays as good as a Parker Fly, and putting those eights on there were just off the charts. Will they be good on the Les Paul? Yeah, I have one of my Les Pauls has eights on it. I have eights on the Black Custom. I know that for sure, and it's pretty good. Like it blazes. How so? Speed. Speed and just bending. Like it's like butter. Because on the Parker you have the carbon glass epoxy fretboard and the stainless steel frets. So when you bend with eights, it's just beautiful. I mean, it's like woo, really slick. And then let's mute this guy. And then let me see. I'll bet you, because this Les Paul is really been my main axe for many years. Oh, I'm gonna run over my cable. Oh no. Break out the Les Paul for Rob. Come here, Les. Yeah. Ooh, this thing's heavy. Let's see, is it still in tune? Holy cow. That's amazing. All right, so the Les Paul. So that's eights. This thing blazes. I got this in the early 90s. I think it's an 89. And, oh my God, this guitar, I'll never sell it. It's a little out of tune, though. I can hear that. So let's fix that. But yeah, it's been a workhorse for me. I use this, my Charvel, and sometimes actually after I got out of the Charvel mode, because the Charvel is very 80s. It's crackle, and I was in bands that I just couldn't show up with a crackle guitar. So I wound up using this and the Washburn N4 that's behind me. Those were my main guitars for years. And my Kramer Pacer Deluxe. That was the other one that was a real staple at gigs. But this thing, I think, honestly, this probably has the best action that I have on all my guitars. And all my guitars have really, really low action. So, let's see. Ed B. Metal looks like the one you showed there, Vince, plus $5 shipping for a pick. Yeah, cool. So you found it. Nice. Yeah, this guitar again is seriously beautiful. Hang on a second. Okay. Anyhow, let's see. Good show. Good show, day 5. Let's all get some beauty sleep. Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna be shutting it down in 4 minutes. Yeah, looks that way. So crazy, beautiful Les Paul. Yes, thank you. This thing, again, like I was saying, is probably one of my best playing guitars. Um, again, I keep things really good. So it's an 89, I think, and no belt rash. It's just in really good shape. Years ago, I put it on a stand that I have that cradles the guitar here and here. One of those stands like this on the wall. And the lacquer that they use on these. Oh, and you know what? That's a good point for Rob. Rob, be careful with your guitar stand because they still use the same kind of lacquer. And look what it did to my guitar. This is the only mark I have on the guitar. It ate the rubber interacts with the lacquer that they use, and it literally ate the paint and the binding. And it did it over here too. Where is it? It's somewhere over here, but you get the idea. You could really see it over there. So it just totally stinks. And then I thought, oh, okay, all these years later, they must have fixed the problem. And I bought a Lou Palo signature model because he was one of my good friends, Lou Palo from the Les Paul Trio, and I bought his model guitar, and I put it on the stand, and one day later, it had marks on the bottom because I put it on a stand like this. So, careful with your Les Paul, Rob. You don't want to ruin it. All right. Let's see. Rob had a Washburn acoustic with built-in chords. It sounded great. Yeah. I used to sell those at the store where I managed, and they were great. Family need beauty sleep. Lots of laughs. Oh, that's great. Let's see here. Yeah, no way. Yes way. Be careful with your guitar, please. I'd hate to see anything happen to it. I got foam pads on my guitar stand. Yeah, they're like rubber pads, and the rubber interacts with the guitar. So I don't know if you bought it from a store or an online store, like a local store, I should say. But maybe give them a call and ask them about that. And if they didn't hear about it, then call Gibson or email them. I might put some silk on it. Yes. Absolutely. All right. Well, hey, everybody. I really appreciate you hanging out with me. Still says there's more people on than that are commenting, so I don't know why you're all so shy, but I appreciate you being here. And I'll catch you tomorrow for another episode of April is International Guitar Month. And we'll just be chatting it up about guitar and picks and strings and all of that stuff. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Ed says, great live stream. Vince, good show. Thank you. Thank you for your time as always, pal. You're the best. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate everybody hanging. And I will catch you all soon. Have a great night. See you tomorrow sometime. I'll post, approximately an hour before, so that way you get a heads up, and it's a random time. Awesome. Thanks, Jamie. Good night. As Wendy says, see you all tomorrow, and I'll catch you all soon. Thanks. Be well.